I've been playing hockey since I was 6 years old, and I've never had skates that fit me. To put it simply, I just have really weird feet. They're wide, awkward, and impossible to fit into retail skates. I've spent years skating in skates that are 1.5, 2, and believe it or not, even 3 sizes too big one time. That usually translates to zero heel lock, my foot sliding around mid-stride, and constant pain and readjusting on the bench. Luckily, that ends today. I'm at the hockey shop in Langley where I'm gonna get fitted for some new TRUE SVH Customs. These are built from the inside out of a 3D mold of your foot, so the skate's gonna match every single bump or curve you have on your foot. In this video, I'm gonna be taking you guys through the process from start to finish, starting with a 3D scan, designing and choosing my custom specs, baking them for the perfect fit, getting them profiled and sharpened, then finally at the end, we'll take them on the ice. I'll let you know what I think of them and if they're worth getting. So, let's get started. Hey, buddy. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
What's up, Ty?
How's it going? So these guys are gonna take care of me. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Yeah, hi, I'm Brandon. I'm one of the custom skate fitters at the hockey shop here.
I'm Jeff Lynch, the BC True Hockey rep.
Why don't we get this thing started?
Let's do it. So when we're looking for custom skates, a few simple questions that I have for you. First off, why are you looking for a custom skate today?
Truthfully, I've never had skates that like really fit me.
Yeah.
I think my feet are pretty abnormal. They're really wide.
Okay.
So I really have troubles getting into stock skates.
Okay. Yeah, True's a very unique way that they do their custom skates. So for people with a lot of foot problems, foot abnormalities, the nice thing about them, you're never gonna find 2 True skates that look the exact same. So what they do with their process, built in Winnipeg, they have a casting of your foot, and then what they do by hand is layer these carbon fiber sheets around the foot and form it and press it to it and let that cure and set. So when we look at the actual scan and the casting, you're never gonna see a perfectly flat outsole. You're gonna see little bumps and grooves in and around those little unique areas of your foot shape to make sure that you have the best in-class fit that you can get.
Cool.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna do some pictures of your feet, we're gonna
Okay.
do some scans, we're gonna take some measurements, and then we're gonna build the skate for you today, okay?
Cool. Awesome. Cool. All right.
Okay, let's pop your shoes off for me. All right, let's pop your socks off.
Oh, we're going dogs out. This is
Yeah.
wild. This is like hockey shop premium here.
You do have custom feet.
Oh, I do. Look at those. They're so wide.
I'm gonna go grab the iPad or the scanner, and we can do that part, so.
Okay. While we're waiting on Coop to get this iPad, what's the difference between True Custom Skates and other brands' custom skates?
Well, with True Custom Skates, they're built from the inside out. So it's a full one-piece boot. Yeah, and then from this, you would have your custom options, different tongues, tenon guard, colors, and you could have the option to add shot blockers.
All right, Coop's here.
Yep. All right, so we're gonna do the scanning process. It's a little different
Okay.
from before.
Okay.
We used to have a big iPad that we'd walk around your feet. Now they've made it a little bit more simple. We have
Yeah.
a platform you stand on, and then I'm gonna roll this phone around a track.
Fancy. Okay.
Yeah.
1 foot at a time, or how do we?
Yeah,
do
we'll
this?
do 1 foot at a time. So we do
Okay.
have to put a little bit of info in.
Okay.
What I need from you, just some personal info. We're gonna create a True profile for you.
Okay.
And then we'll do the scan from there.
What year was I born again? Okay.
Okay. So we're gonna do right foot first. Now I'll show you what we're
Okay.
gonna do with this scan. So once you get your foot inside the pill, obviously have your foot as centered as possible.
Okay.
You're gonna have your knee just slightly over top of your toe here, and this foot just has to be back out of the way because the track's gonna spin around.
Okay, sounds
Reason
good.
being that we have the foot in this position as well is majority of our time is in this skating position. When we flare the heel out, True's really specific in the way it grabs the foot, so specific. We just wanna make sure that our heel's in the most natural skating position for this scan, okay?
Cool. Okay.
Okay.
So like that.
Yeah, just like that. So I'm just gonna
Okay.
hang tight right here for a second. And sometimes
Okay.
we have to do the scan once or twice, just dependent on the connections. Bring the knee forward a little bit. Yep, just like that. Now the funny part is, the longer I make you sit here, sometimes guys start sweating a little bit. So if you get a little tired, let me know.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. Now, Coop, is this something that people have to come in store to do, or is this something they could do at home?
Yeah, I would always recommend, especially if you're gonna invest this kind of time and money into a pair of skates, I'd recommend you come into the store where we can go over all the options with you. True does have the app accessibility that you can do this at home if you want, but I usually recommend come in. I wouldn't want a customer to gamble on something that they don't know how to do.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they get a pair of skates and that don't fit them properly, or maybe they didn't have information on specs that they wanted.
Right.
Okay, so that one's good.
Cool. That was so easy.
Yeah, super easy. Just pop up there.
Okay.
So next we're gonna take some pictures of the scanning measurements. We're gonna take some pictures of any problem areas that you would have had previously.
Okay.
And one note to kind of make as well, when Jeff was talking about the whole built from the inside out, the really unique part is that there's not a lot of things you can change on True skates, and I do really like that. And the reason why, it takes a lot of our human element out. they're building a skate around a foot shape that they know is going to work for you.
Right.
Versus with some of the other brands, if, say, for example, you need to change a bunch of different eyelets, positioning of how the skate fits on the foot, you're kind of gambling and you don't really know unless you have someone really confident in how they build the skates for you. So that's why I like how TRUE does it. Again, just takes a lot of the other elements out and they're building a skate around which is what your foot shape is. This is the casting of your foot. They do a little 3D rendition of it. So what they're going to do is they're going to build this casting of your foot in-house in Winnipeg, and then that's what they're going to use. They stick it on a little post, and then they layer those carbon fiber sheets around those little details of the foot.
Super cool.
And yes, it does say you have a very wide foot.
Oh yeah, they're boats.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to start with your right foot.
Okay.
Just stay seated for 1 sec here for me, okay?
Okay.
And then bring your weight forward just a touch. Okay. So the next step is we're going to take some pictures of the sizing on the Brannock. So roughly a size 8 for you. And then overall, from the last number of pairs, I know you said you had a tough time fitting into retail skates.
Yeah.
Has there been any major hotspot areas for you, like pressure points and toe caps, middle of the foot? How about the arch?
I mean, I feel like most of the problems are just coming from the width, I guess. Like, so it'd be on like the outside.
Okay.
Maybe like the top of the skate. I think I do have like a very tall foot. So that like right on the top.
Yeah, the
sometimes
instep
gets hot. Yeah.
So when we're building the skate for you, the one thing we can always ask, like TRUE has a very unique overwrap the way they build the skates. In terms of stability and support, they're probably going to be at the top in terms of that like wrap that you get.
Yeah.
Very unique, kind of similar to how like figure skates and speed skates would have been, because Scott Van Horne was
speed skater.
Yeah, he had some input with a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
So if those have been little problem areas for you, those are things that we can highlight so we build different for the skate for you. Okay.
Cool. Okay. Good to
So
know.
in terms of hot spots, I'll just take some pictures of width. I'm also going to take a picture of just the inside of your foot, so just put your foot flat for me there. All right, stand up and turn around the other way. So I'm going to take a picture of your heel, just stand shoulder width apart for me. A little bit more. Okay, now just bend your knees forward a little bit, okay? Now the reason why we like taking pictures of the heels, it's really important to see the way your foot collapses, especially with that sub-talar joint area here and the issues with the arch.
Yeah.
We just want to see what the stability level can look like for you. Okay, so I'm happy with the pictures.
Okay.
I think we're all good there. We're going to go on to do the other foot now, okay?
Sounds good. Cool.
Okay, and then we're going to do the same things with the other foot.
Sounds good.
So I do notice, especially like on the outside area here, does that ever cause problems for you?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay. So we're going to make sure that we highlight those spots for you.
Okay,
after we build the skate as well, there's a giant note section where we can input all the little problem areas, so then they can go back, look at the pictures, and see what we need to work with, okay?
Right, super cool. From my knowledge, I don't know if other brands do this, but they kind of just have like generic shapes or fits that they kind of build.
Yeah, without getting too much into the weeds of it. In terms of other custom skates, they're kind of built off templates. So for example, we need a fit 2 heel for you, fit 3 forefoot. We can kind of combine those pieces together. And then they do like a super heat mold around that casting of your foot.
Okay.
But when it comes to actually, like like you said, a fully built from the inside out skate, TRUE's the only one that actually makes a skate like that.
Cool.
You can even see on the inside of this sample here, we have the starting shell. That's how the skate begins. They're actually going to go in and glue in the actual liners after that process. So it's a kind of cool little unique way they do things. All right, so other scan went out good. And then we're going to take the same pictures here, okay? So
sounds good.
We'll do left foot. So a little bit of a smaller sizing on the left foot. Just going to do the inside of the arch. So when we look at his foot, you can see that the center point caves to the inside a little bit. So he pronates. He has a flat arch and a fairly heavy pronation. So I think TRUE would be good in terms of the stability aspect for you.
Perfect.
So these are your scans. What they do is they pick up the shortest and the longest points of your feet, and then the widest points in the forefoot for you, okay? And then what are your current skates right now?
Custom ultrasonics.
Okay. Do you know roughly what size they are?
I think they're 7 3/4.
7 3/4. Okay. Because TRUE does ask for a little bit of previous skate history.
Okay.
They just want to know what you're coming out of, just in terms of, again, the likes and the dislikes of the skates that you've had previously.
Yeah.
So for example, if they're anywhere between 7, 7 1/4, 7 1/2, I can split the difference and go 7 1/4 in the last pair.
Let's do that.
And then extra wide.
Yeah.
Okay. We are ready to start building the specs now.
Let's do it.
So for season 5, lots of great upgrades that they've made. If we start from the bottom, there's a brand new coated black steel that they have, which is going to increase the bite and have way more edge life. They also have a brand new holder setup. Now, this holder is going to be a lot more of a neutral pitch. Before, the older holders of True was a lot more of that steep pitch forward, getting guys really onto their toes. Some guys really liked it, some guys didn't. So now they've gone to way more of a neutral setup, kind of similar to how the Bauer and CCM ones have been.
Okay.
But if you do want to go back to that really steep pitch forward, the classic True feel, there's lots of ways that we can profile the steel now to get you that similar feel. Moving up, they've actually changed a little bit of the toe cap setting and the way the vinyl overlap is here. The toe cap's a little bit more minimal, and they've actually increased the durability in the stitching across here. Before, there were some little areas that would kind of wear down a little bit faster, so they've gone in and made it a little bit more seamless. One of the biggest things that they've changed as well is going to be the eyelet positioning and the eyelet system. Before Trues, they had a big carbon fiber section across the eyelets. It was really stiff, had that very unique True overwrap. Now they've actually gone to a plastic integrated zones across here to give us way more forward flex, and it makes it a lot easier getting your foot in and out of the skate. The flip side of that is some people, when they really, really like that aggressive True overwrap, it gave them so much support and stability. You can still do that with the new skates, but if you're a little bit more looking for like that classic fit with like a Bauer and CCM or a little more flared open, there's lots of ways that when we get them in and do the mold that we can kind of manipulate the eyelets a little bit.
Okay, cool. Good
From
to
there,
know.
added a few different liners, different tenon guards, a little bit more durable, still the the riveted in system, but there's a lot more structure to it now.
Right, okay, cool.
From there, they've also reduced the weight of the skate. It is a lot lighter now. I think it's about 15% lighter, so yeah, for guys like you and me with heavy boots, probably should make a little bit of a difference.
Big steppers out here.
Yeah, but from there, those are the majority of the changes that they've made.
Awesome, cool.
Yeah. And then last thing, they have a brand new tongue, but we're going to get into that when we talk about the specs.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Good to know. What's the lead time looking like? Jeff, you might have a better answer for this.
Yeah, lead time for custom True skates is about 30 to 45 days, depending on the time of the year. And they also offer an option to express the skates for an additional fee.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So there you can get your skates in pretty much made and shipped out within just over a week.
That is insane.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, well, why don't we get into customizing these skates? I've been looking forward to this.
Let's do it. Well, the most important question is what color do you want?
Oh, man.
So obviously, we get the kind of chrome blue, the red, gold. We have a fully blacked out option as well, and then the classic True silver color.
Ooh.
You want to personalize with the team, or you just want to do your own individual thing. That's kind of the nice thing about adding these new color zones.
Kind of in between this black. I like the blackout look, Batman style.
Yeah.
But I also like the silver too. The silver is kind of
it's the classic look.
It's like a classic look.
Yeah. I went with black on mine.
Right. I think I might go with black. I just feel like that looks sleek.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, let's go with black.
Okay. So blacked out. One last little small thing you can choose as well. If you do want a little bit of a pop of color, they have the tenon guard jewel color you can choose.
Is that new for this year?
It is, yeah.
Super cool.
So you can now have 2 different color zones.
Oh man, this makes it hard. Let's just go with all black.
All black?
Yeah.
You got it. Okay. There is a new addition. You can change the holder color this year. They do have the classic white option, or they have a black colorway option now.
Ooh. I think I'm gonna have to go with white.
Yep.
Black is cool though, I will say.
Fair enough. Now from the liners, there's 3 different liners. When we talk about the first one, the hydrofoam liner, that's going to be the classic liner that True's used over the last number of years. So this is the most durable. In terms of the comfort and the fit, it has a smooth feel, smooth touch to it.
Okay.
It is, the most durable in the forefront, just because they have the little wear patch zones on the inside.
Oh, cool.
The one thing with these, they do repel moisture really well, so you have to make sure you're hanging your skates upside down.
Okay.
Versus the other liners that we can choose. The other liners we can choose, there's a brushed tricot. So this has almost like a soft fabric feel to it. If you're looking for the lightest skate on the market, you'd have to go with this liner. This is going to reduce so much of the weight, have a really soft touch to it. And then there's one other option that we can choose to.
Okay, I think this one's kind of caught my eye, so I kind of want to hear about this one here.
For some of the original SVH owners and the original Trues, this is going to look a little more familiar for you. They've brought back the tan Clarino liner.
That is sick.
Yeah.
I like that. That's like luxury car vibes.
You gonna go with that one?
I think I'm gonna have to just go with that one.
That's pretty fair. All right. Now from the tongues, there is a few things that I want to talk about. There's obviously some new options, and then there's some options that maybe you've seen before.
Yep.
The newest one that they've had is a 3D printed tongue.
Oh.
Now, there is some interesting things about this. In terms of breathability, you're not going to get a tongue that breathes more than this, okay?
Yeah.
The one kind of unique thing about it, if you're looking for something with the most forward flex that you can get, this is going to be the best option for you.
Okay.
Now, the flip side of that, if you have a little bit of a weaker ankle strength, sometimes that can be too much range of motion, loses a little bit of stability.
Right.
Okay, so you have to take a little bit of grain of salt with that.
Okay.
Versus one of the other options that we have, one of their newer ones is the Pro Laminated Memory Foam, a little bit stiffer, bit more dense, a little bit thicker, but it's going to offer a good amount of protection and comfort at the same time.
Right, okay.
Okay.
The skates I'm currently in, they have custom felt tongues.
Yeah.
They're not very stiff at all.
Yep.
And I don't really tie my skates
Yeah.
that very tight either. So for tongues,
Yep.
I don't really want anything that's super stiff and
Okay.
has kind of like a recoil
Yep.
thing. I
Fair
kind of
enough.
like just having
Just something standard?
something like super classic.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why we have the classic felt tongues now.
Oh,
so
perfect.
kind of a good balance between both. Good
There we go.
protection, classic feel to them.
Okay.
For guys who block a ton of shots and want the most protection, you can get an upgraded version of that felt tongue as well.
Okay.
And that's going to be the shot blocker tongue here.
Shot blocker tongue.
Yeah, so it just has an extra shot blocker
Whoa.
built into the tongue. It is going to increase the stiffness, okay? But it just
Right.
comes with the more protection there.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
Yeah.
The one thing that did kind of not worry me, but these are a lot higher cuts,
Yep.
so maybe I do want a little bit more flex.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of thinking in between maybe this and the 3D.
Yeah.
What would you suggest here?
You know what? If you're looking for that good blend of both, I always like going with classic felt because you know what you're
Done.
getting out of those.
Done. Let's do classic.
Cool.
Yep.
2 tenon guards you can choose between.
Okay.
There's a stiff option and a flexible option.
Okay.
Trues have always had a little bit of a stiffer tenon guard to begin with, but the flexible option just increases that range of motion that we get in the extension of your stride.
Right.
One thing is, do you do your sock over top of the back
I don't.
of this? Okay. So it doesn't really make that much of a difference at the end of the
Yeah.
day for you. But I would say the flexible option is probably the most common one that we
Yeah,
do.
I'm pretty sure my skates have a really, really flexible
Yeah.
tongue guard right now,
Yeah.
so I would probably prefer the
Cool. Do that.
flexible one there.
Do you want to personalize the tongue? You can get some characters etched on there.
Ooh.
So you can do an initials. Some people just do, say for you, like a TL,
Okay.
or you can do just a last name.
Okay. I mean, my last name is 2 letters.
Fair enough. Yeah, I guess you can do that
I
too.
could do that
yeah,
too.
you could.
Do they have to be the same on each foot, or can
No,
I
so
do,
you can do different on each foot. So you could actually, you could just do tile eye on.
Can I
it.
do that?
You could do tile. Okay, we can do that for you.
Let's go.
I'll make sure it's backwards for you too.
Oh man, I was born for this.
Yeah, right. One last option, or 2 last options that we can talk about for players who are really into roller hockey. Maybe you want to bring your skates in unmounted, or even so used to a Bauer and a CCM holder.
Yeah.
You can bring the skates in without the holders attached to them. So I don't know if you have any setups that you want to currently use, but I do want to put note the new holder and steel setup that they have is a lot more neutral. Trues always used to have a really aggressive pitch forward onto the toes. Some guys were used to it and really liked it. Some guys wanted something maybe back, not on their heels, but more centered, if that makes sense.
Right.
So now what they've done, they've gone to way more of a neutral pitch. The holders are also a lot lighter and the steel's a lot lighter than it used to be.
Okay.
And then the new polished steel that they have from the Speed Shift one, it has way more bite than the last time. So I've noticed for me, I typically was always skating on 5/8. My new ones now I've gone to a 3/4 because it has just way more edge retention to
Oh
it.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
I mean, I have steel existing.
Yep.
From my other skates, like extra pairs.
Yep.
But I don't know if like the holder size would be the same.
Yeah, one
So-
thing we can always ask to change the holder size when we get down to what holder size we're going
Right.
to choose on it.
Okay.
I would honestly say try the new one out. There's
Yeah.
no hurt in trying something new. I think they've done a really good job with the upgrades on it.
Yeah.
And worst comes to worst, you change it if you want.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's go with the true holder.
Okay.
Okay.
And then you're not blocking any shots, are you?
I would like to say I try.
Yeah.
The amount that actually get blocked, I don't know.
I don't think it's
there.
really necessary to build shot blockers into
Yeah,
it.
okay.
You can if you want to. You can add an extra reinforced layer of carbon fiber throughout the body of the skate to kind of act as a shot blocker.
Right.
Doesn't make it that much heavier in total honesty, but it does reinforce it. So truthfully, I think for you, don't bother.
Yeah, I'm
it's
not.
not really necessary for
Sorry,
you.
goalie.
Yeah, right. All right, that's it for some of the specs that we can change, okay?
Sweet. Awesome.
All right. So next thing is we're going to put a little notes in. We're going to build another profile for you.
Okay.
And then we're going to go over just some of your more previous problems that you've had. We're just going to make sure that we have that all in writing for us, okay?
Awesome.
Cool.
Sweet. Let's do it.
Last couple things, we're just going to take some information down in terms of, again, previous skate history that you had,
Okay.
whether or not you had problems with them, likes,
Right.
dislikes.
Right.
So for you, because you have a very, very low arch, we're going to highlight that.
Okay.
Also, any areas of your foot that were always previously too wide for skates. So for example, forefoot too wide.
Yeah.
Did you ever find that your heels were ever too wide for skates?
I don't think so. No.
No, never. Okay, no issues there.
Yeah.
So I can leave that.
Okay.
Have you had any other broken feet, foot injuries, anything like that? Any other
No.
skate problems that we need to highlight?
No, just
No?
width. Width
Okay.
has really just been the
Width is- okay.
width and maybe the top of the foot if that's
Yeah,
like
I'll add width and instep into the notes section. All right, so we've gone over all the issues, gone over previous skate history.
Yep.
There's now one last thing that I want to talk about that True's offered, and this is new to their new season.
Okay.
They have 3 different fit options you can get within the custom world.
Okay.
So for people with an incredibly narrow foot, they
Right.
do have an even tighter custom True option.
Oh, wow.
That's what I opted for. Now,
Okay.
I don't have that narrow of a foot, but I want the most control, the most stability around my foot. I don't want any negative space, and I'm
Right.
fine with my toes being right up at the ends of my skate.
Right.
What most people come in and get is the classic True Fit, which is designed to have that good, perfect blend of the comfort and the performance that we're looking for.
Yeah.
And then for you, because you have such a wide, high volume foot, high instep, with True's overwrap that they have in the eyelets, there is a last option called like a wide comfort fit.
Okay.
I think that would probably be the best option for you. It's going to make it easier to get your foot in and out of those eyelet systems. Yeah. And it's also just going to increase the comfort. You're going to have room for the foot to perfectly kind of splay out and not have any cramping or pressure point areas for you, okay?
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
So let's do the relaxed option, as they call it.
Let's do that.
Cool. That is it.
That's it?
That's all we can change.
Okay.
All we can do.
That's a lot, but...
Okay. That's not that much. All right. So yeah, we'll get that all sent off and we'll get the skates in within about a month.
Sweet. Cool. We'll see you in a month.
Okay.
Edit.
See you tomorrow.
3 weeks later.
All right. Skates finally came in. Honestly, I have nothing else to say. I just can't wait to see them, so let's open this up. There we go. All right, what do we got inside? Ooh, nice little double box. We love that. Shout out to all my sneakerheads out there. We love a good double box. So it comes in this nice black True box. This is the same experience you guys are gonna get if you guys order your custom pair. Here we go, moment of truth. Close my eyes here. What do we got? Dun, 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 dun. Oh, they're in plastic. Let's take one out here. Whoa, okay. I mean, you can definitely see how wide these things are, but man, these are sleek. The brown interior, like we ordered, that looks good. Kind of like a car. Man, this is kind of surreal. I feel like I've been waiting forever, but it's only really been like 2.5 weeks. Wow, these are cool. Oh, I forgot. I got my name Ty. I need to see if the other one says Lie. Perfect, look at that. I got Ty Lie. I was born to have these skates. This is kind of crazy. Speaking of the tongue is really nice too. Perfect to what I like, just like classic felt. Honestly, I just want to get these on my feet. So let's go get Coop from the back and he'll walk us through the heat molding. All right, Coop, skates are here. What's the next step?
All right, so next we're gonna do the heat mold with them, and then we're gonna go through some of the accessories in the box for you.
Okay, let's do it. Cool, let's go.
All right, so Trues are gonna go in the oven for a little bit longer. Typically, they're gonna go in between 8 to 10 minutes because the carbon fiber is a lot stiffer than traditional composite. So by being in the oven a little longer, they're gonna take a way better shape to your foot, okay?
Oh, cool.
Tyler, typically with heat molding these, there's a little bit of a different process. We're gonna leave the top 2 to 3 eyelets undone. Okay. And then we're gonna do the shrink wrap around the ankles. Now, there's 2 ways, again, we can do it. If you do the shrink wrap around the ankles, that's typically gonna give you that really signature True wrap, which is a very aggressive kind of overwrap, kind of like ski boots, kind of like figure skates. Right. What that does, it offers way more support and stability for the foot. Okay. Versus you can always just do them traditionally up if you want and kind of do them at like a 70% tightness. It gives you a little bit more ankle mobility and range of motion. But I think for you, going with the stability route wouldn't be a bad idea. Okay, yeah, let's do it. Coop's basically saying that I have really bendy ankles, but it's all good, you know? Saying it and not saying it. So yeah, we're gonna keep them open, gonna go in the oven here, and then we'll touch base when they're ready. Sounds good. All right, so now that they're done, we're gonna take them out, we're gonna get them on his feet here. So they're really soft and really pliable once we get that heat mold on them. And that's gonna take that great shape around the foot for us. So what we're gonna do with your left foot, or sorry, your right foot here. Okay. We're gonna twist your foot sideways, and then you're gonna roll your heel straight, and that'll help us with getting the foot inside. And now give your heel a really good kick into the back for me. Awesome. All right, same thing? Yep. Same thing, and roll the foot down, and then give that heel a good kick into the back for us. Awesome. Now again, this part, we're not gonna go crazy tight, kind of in that 70 to 80% tightness range for us. Okay. Cool, this feels crazy. And if you don't mind just holding those up for me like that. Okay. And again, this is kind of the signature way that True recommends doing the heat molds. With the cling wrap, it doesn't put as much stress on the eyelets as doing a traditional heat mold. And that's what now we can tighten up around the ankle and really sink that heel back in place as deep as we need. Right. It's really cool. You can kind of see the, I don't know if you can get this on the camera there. Yeah. The eyelets are like really wrapping around the front. Now, if you want, we can do a couple up top and really sink this around the foot, but then it does make it a lot harder to get the foot in and out. So usually what I recommend for people, especially if you have a little bit of a wider foot or if you've never worn Trues, I don't go as tight at the top. I kind of keep them pretty much snug to really sink the heel in place. And then I maybe just kind of do one just up at the top here. Just light, just like this. Sweet. No, this feels really good. Cool. Man, and then you can put the foot flat.
I almost want to skate with the saran wrap on like that. Like, this is crazy. Okay.
See how that goes. If you don't mind just holding that for me there.
Okay.
Thank you. And let me know when the tightness feels roughly the same as the other one. Is that close? Or a little more?
Yeah, honestly, it's pretty close.
Okay. Let's do one kind of last one right here.
Okay.
So now you're going to be sitting still for about the next 15 minutes. We just really want to let the boot cool down. So if your feet get a little hot and tingly, don't be worried about that. Don't be surprised.
Okay.
You just have to hang tight and let the skates do their thing here, okay?
Sweet. Awesome.
Now feet, keep them just about like this, keeping toes straight.
Okay.
A very, very slight shift of the knees forward here. A little less than that. That's good.
That's good.
So yeah,
Okay.
just going to have to hang tight like that, because what that does, again, with the cling wrap really driving the heel back, being in this natural skating position is going to help get it even further and locked in place for you, okay?
Awesome. Sweet.
Cool. All right, see you in a bit.
All right.
Now that our 15 minutes are up, how are they feeling?
Toasty.
Toasty still?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's pretty normal. It should hold that. So we're gonna take the cling wrap off. We're gonna take your feet out, let the boots cool down and set for a little bit.
Okay.
And then over the next few minutes, we can then try them back on and just do a loose little walk around and see how they feel, okay?
Okay, sounds good. Oh man, these feel good. I've never had a skate where every part of the skate is like touching my foot.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Okay, so they've been sitting for a couple hours now. Typically with True, they do recommend you leave them sit for a day. Obviously with us working here, we have a little bit of time to let them hang out.
Yeah.
So we're gonna quickly try them back on, just get a good little feel for how they are for you, okay?
Sounds good.
Now, do you normally wear regular laces or do you typically wear wax laces?
I usually wear waxed.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you can still do wax with Trues. Again, it is all just a big personal preference at the end of the day.
Yeah.
With Trues, again, with how aggressive of that wrap they have over the foot and how stable the foot feels inside of it, some guys like to do just regular laces because you don't need to tie these as tight as normal.
Okay, good
But
to know.
even with my Trues, I still wear wax laces in mine.
Yeah.
I just like that tight feel.
Me too. I just like the wax laces for when you're actually tying them. You can kind of let
Yeah.
go a bit and
Yeah.
they stay tight.
That's fair. Small little tip with these two, unless you have really long laces, I always recommend taking out the top two eyelets.
Okay.
It is just a little harder to get your foot in and out of these skates, but I mean, they have made it easier with the new eyelets.
Okay.
But still, I always undo the top two just to make it easier sliding the foot in and out.
Good tip. Pro
Saves on,
tips.
yeah, saves on the wear and tear of the boot as well.
Nice.
When the skates are really tight like this and you try to force your foot in and out, you're putting so much friction on the inside of the liners, it just ends up wearing down on them really fast. And it's also harder just to
Okay,
get your foot
yeah,
in and out. So
yeah.
throw your foot inside there for me.
Okay. So I do the side twist.
Yep. And that'll become kind of like first nature for you. Just takes a couple times to get used to.
Right.
Also, give yourself an extra few minutes to lace these up before every ice skate, just because, yeah, they take a little bit longer than most other
Okay.
skates.
Good to know. Wow, Coop's really giving us all the pro tips today.
So now at this point, lace them up how you normally would tie your own skates.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. This one, that feels pretty good.
Yeah, good.
Feels really good. Honestly, the flare at the top makes it really easy.
Yeah, good. And again, we can tweak that a little bit too. If you need it more open, we can always adjust that later. We can make it a little bit tighter, but I always recommend you got to get a couple skates on them the way we do them the first time,
Right.
just so you can adjust and then play around from there. Need the lace hooks for these.
I was gonna say, even though these are standard laces, they feel like wax laces because they just like stay in place.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
So now at this point, you can stand up.
Okay.
Yeah, and straight out of the oven, I would never recommend walking around on them, but because we've had a couple hours to let them set,
Yeah.
this is where now we can get you moving in them quickly.
Nice. No, they feel good. No, yeah, definitely a lot more ankle support. I can still get some good flex too, which
Yeah,
is
good.
what I was kind of worried about,
Yeah.
having like a higher cut skate, but
Yeah. Well, that's just the adjustment they made to the eyelets. So yes,
Right.
don't get me wrong, it will have stability, but because those
Yeah.
eyelets are a little softer now, should have a good little blend of both for you.
nice. And then I don't know if I'm going crazy or not. Like, is there some sort of arch support in there, like built in?
Yeah, well,
compared to
it's
that?
not. It's not that it's it is in a way built in because the carbon fiber is wrapped to that unique part of your foot.
Oh, okay.
So it does feel there's more support than just a standard skate because
Yeah.
standard skates have that kind of flat base to them.
Right.
Versus here, it's all uniquely curved around all those parts of your foot,
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. and that's just a small adjustment to get used to.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah. If they feel good, we can take them off. We can get them all sharpened up for you.
Let's do it.
All right. So we'll let them sit right here. Gonna
Okay.
go through a couple of the accessories in the box now.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do that.
So
Okay.
we'll start with the Genetics 2s. These are the new insoles that they've made. These are in a way a custom insole designed for each foot. So what they have is an arch support, but they also have a low, medium, and high arch. So there's gonna be a couple different options. For example, on mine have the high arch option. For you, I guarantee they have the low option.
Now, do you recommend I use those instead of the stock ones? Or
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. So there's,
both, or?
yeah, I would say try both. So there's two kind of routes you can take.
Yeah.
If you say, for example, you have a really low volume foot, so really narrow, really shallow, those are great ways to take up a lot of volume because they're quite thick and padded. If you're a little more of a traditionalist and you don't really want that extra level of support, then you just go with the stock insoles that are in there because, again, the boot and the carbon fiber is already wrapped to that area of your arch anyways.
Right, I kind of felt it too. So.
Yeah, exactly. You're already going to have a lot of support. For you having a really wide foot, you'd have to just try it. It might feel like it's now too much, or I guess like too much volume in there.
Right.
Where then now it might feel like it's a little tighter in certain areas. But again, it's just trial and error.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely have to give those a try.
Yeah. Next little thing we got, True is a little screwdriver. There's two pieces to it. Just got a little magnet on it, but it is also how you typically take out the steel on here.
Okay.
So True have a little spring load system. You get them through here. You got to pull back quite far. So once you hit there, you're going to hear that little pop. The steel should now just pop out really easy for you.
Cool.
Okay.
Sweet.
And then getting it back in, super easy. You don't need to have the tool in there. You're going to go toe first. They have these unique little grooves on the inside. Now, I've done it a million times, so I'm pretty confident in pushing it with my hand. If you're not, you just find a flat surface and just press down on it, and that'll clip the steel back in place.
Cool.
Just to make sure this little pin is all the way forward and that there's no gaps.
Okay.
If there's gaps, it means you haven't clipped it in properly, okay?
Perfect. And
Yeah.
super cool screwdrivers. The tool is also screwdrivers. You got a flathead and a Phillips, so if anything on your helmet comes loose or anything like that, you got this. So super handy tool to just keep in the bag.
Yeah. The last little additive they did is a little ceramic coating stone.
Oh, nice touch.
Yeah, especially with this new black steel that they have, it's a pretty nice coating that they have. Ceramic stones are kind of the cream of the crop of stoning. They're not going to completely roll the edge over if you accidentally get at a small angle.
Nice.
But I mean, obviously be careful of it, right?
Yeah.
But you can now run it along that black steel without scratching any of the coating on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when would I use this?
Yeah, so I would say it is a bit of a visual and physical touch that you have to be looking for. So when you actually start feeling the sides of the edges, if they feel really bumpy and rough, great time then to use a stone to help flatten the edges back out.
Okay.
But if you are noticing, you're losing an edge constantly, best case is just you get them resharpened for you.
Okay. Speaking of sharpening, Coop,
Yep.
I heard that, they changed the steel up this year. Should I keep going with 5/8 or?
I would say there is, again, personal preference that comes into play, but True typically recommends you go with a 3/4 hollow on these.
Okay.
Because of the stiffness level of the skate and not having as much ankle mobility as normal, if you go way too sharp, you're actually going to feel like it's too sharp and that you catch edges quite easy.
Right.
This steel on its own already has quite a bit of a bite to it. So for me, I went to 3/4 and I might even go to 1 inch on mine.
Okay.
Body weight, skating mechanics, surface area that you're skating on or walking around on all kind of play into it a little bit. But yeah, 5/8 could be okay, but I'd probably start you off with 3/4 if you already skate on something that's not crazy sharp in the first place.
Yeah. I actually prefer a duller skate.
Do you? Yeah.
I guess I'm just a heavier guy, and also the ice I skate on is usually generally pretty soft.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. So then 3/4 will probably make a lot of sense for you.
Okay. Yeah. Let's do that.
And if you try it out and don't like it, you obviously have options to go sharper or less sharp than that.
Right. And then also profile.
Yeah.
I
Profiles.
usually rock a quad profile.
Sure.
But I'm looking to try something new.
Okay. Sure. Well, we
Do you
can
have any
go.
recommendations?
Yeah, we can absolutely chat about profiles.
Okay.
So a couple profiles to talk about. Now, with the Elite Blade performance technology, they have some different profile setups than what Bauer offers, but they have a lot of similar ones as well. So for example, you're skating on the quad, given that you have a size 7 steel, you're going to follow the 6'9", 11, 13 profile, which is a great blend between having a good amount of agility on the front half and stability on the backside. It's a very well-rounded profile. Works a lot for guys who like forward skating, backward skating. But again, skating mechanics will really dictate how it all performs for you on the ice. What was your feedback that you had on the quad profile?
Honestly, I really like the quad.
Okay.
There was really nothing wrong with it, but
Okay.
I do notice sometimes when I'm like transitioning forwards, backwards, pivoting and stuff, I get a little, I could feel like I could be a little faster there.
Okay. So you feel like it's a little flat maybe in certain
just
areas?
maybe in the heel.
Yeah,
a lot,
okay.
When I'm
When you're carving out of turns.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So if you really like the way the quad's built out, but you're kind of giving me those notes of maybe a little flat on the backside, that's where the Polaris kind of comes into play.
Okay.
So the Polaris is still a quad profile, still in that same family. Follows a very similar setup to what we get in the quad, but the way they kind of change up is the Polaris, again, follows a really similar front half, but what they do is they tail off a little bit on the back of the heel to promote a little bit more pivot speed and agility, especially when you're coming out of those turns and crossovers. That's what I've been skating on over the last little while. I really like it personally.
That sounds perfect, honestly.
But again, we're probably both different skaters. I'm very north-south. I don't know what kind of a skater you are.
The same.
North-south? Okay. All right, that might work well for us.
There you go.
And then the last thing too is because they've changed the holder pitch on this, it is going to feel a little different than all the old Trues.
Okay.
The old Trues had a really steep pitch forward.
Okay.
So a quad with that would have felt different than a quad over on this side.
Right, okay.
So there is two routes you can go. You can still do the quad again if that's your familiar setup. Or because you're getting used to all these new things at the same time anyways with a new boot, you can just try a different profile and see if you like that whole setup together.
Right. I'm pretty adventurous, so
Yeah.
I'm down to just jump right into it.
Okay. So I've got the Polaris all set up for you. And turn the lights on. And then I got the clips in here in place, so I'll set the steel up. All right. So that's a good setup right there. That'd be ready to go. So what's gonna happen with the profiling machine now is the profile is gonna be set into this bar here. So when this bar and this machine move along that track, the profile's set into there, and now it's gonna set itself into the steel by following that track back and forth a bunch of times. Okay, profile's all done. Okay, ready to go. So now I'm going to sharpen them. Just watch your eyes, take a step back. All right, so the skates have been blended. Typically with profiles, they create these little divots on the steel. When I blend them now, I smooth the profile into the steel itself, and now I'm going to run some passes and sharpen them up for you, okay?
Sweet.
Okay, skates are level. I'm gonna do one more finishing pass and then this one will be done. So when we put the lubricant on, it creates a really smooth feel on the ice. Just that way we don't feel like we have as much drag and it doesn't feel as muddy. All right, so that one's all ready to go. So that stone that we have on the inside of your package now will be the same thing as what we use to sharpen here.
Cool.
And that's kind of how we just repair the sidewall of the steel here after we sharpen them. And I'm gonna check the steel. There you go.
Look at that.
Tyler, I'll be like 2 minutes here. Okay, both sets are all done. Everything's level, smooth, and ready to go.
Fly out there.
Yeah, you're all set?
Okay. Sweet. Thanks,
Cool.
Coop.
Of course.
Oh.
Anytime.
Let's go. All right, so we got our skates, we got them heat molded, we got them profiled and sharpened. The only thing left to do is to take them out on the ice, so let's go do that, and then we'll come back and I'll give you my review on them. Woo! Oh my gosh, okay. First ever time skating in my new skates. I'm not gonna lie, the first like 10, 15 minutes, my feet were a little sore, but that's only because I'm not used to skates this stiff. Like these things are rock hard. It almost feels like I have casts around my ankles, but I'd say after the 15 minutes, I really got used to these. In terms of the new holder and steel, honestly, I didn't really notice the difference between my old skates and these. I know they like kind of neutralize the pitch of them, so maybe that's why. Or Coop did recommend that I go down hollow, and so I did, and honestly, they might be too sharp, so I might have to go down another hollow. I don't know what's up with the steel, but it's got a lot of bite. Something that I noticed right away compared to my old skates was the tenon guard is a lot more stiff on these. Even though I got the flex option, they flex, but not as much as my old ones. So I do feel it on the back of my calf a little bit. It's not a bad thing. It's just something that I'm gonna have to get used to. That being said, this is my first time wearing them. I have a game this weekend, so that'll be the real test. But so far, so good. Okay, all right, so now that I've skated on these about 10 times, I think I'm ready to give you guys my verdict on these. First off, before going into this, I'm not gonna lie, I did have some concerns about getting True Skates. I've had coworkers or teammates that have had True Customs in the past, and from seeing their skates and kind of listening to what they had to say about them, there were 3 main concerns I had. I kind of just wanna go over those real quick before we get into the kind of review and my thoughts about these, because I honestly think True did a good job at addressing these issues. Let's go over them real quick. First one was weight. Now, coming out of top of the line Bauer skates, those things are pretty light. And to be honest, my first few skates with these, I didn't really notice a difference. They actually feel quite light. Let's weigh this against other top line models because I'm honestly just curious myself. All right, so here we have 4 of the top of the line skates from other brands, and then we have my True Customs. I'm just curious how much these weigh compared to these because, as I said earlier, honestly, when I stepped on the ice, I didn't really feel too much of a difference from my previous skates, which were Bauer Supremes. So now when I scanned my foot with True, they told me that I was a size 7 3/4, which is rounded up, that's about an 8, obviously very wide. So I grabbed a size 8 in each of these, fit 3 or wide fit. That'd be the fit that these would be closest to. So let's go ahead and weigh them. All right, just in no order, let's just go with the CCM XF Pros here. Now those come up to 915. Okay, next up, we'll go with the FT8s. So 976, wow. So these are actually a little bit heavier than the Tax, which honestly, that's kind of surprising. I would think those weigh more. Next, let's go with the Bauer Supreme Shadows. This is very close to what I'm wearing here. Ooh, 908. So it seems like the standard weight is kind of in the 900s here. And then surely, if I were to guess, this would probably be the lightest one of the batch, but let's go ahead and see here. Ooh, okay. 915. So actually like a little bit heavier than the Shadows, okay. Moment of truth here. True SVH, my custom skates. Oh my gosh. Okay, 884, so lighter than all of these skates. I guess they are lighter. Wow, okay. That's surprising. Mind you that, you know, this is made around my foot, so every custom skate's gonna weigh different, but wow, that is shocking. I didn't really think they would be lighter. I thought they'd compare it to something like the Flylights, but okay, well, clearly they addressed that problem. Secondly, one of the biggest things that I was worried about was getting in and out of the skate. If you've ever had True Skates or know someone that does have True Skates, they're sometimes really difficult to get in and out of. You kind of have to twist your foot sideways when it goes in and then you straighten it out, then you can slide it on. So you could see where my concern was, especially having such a wide foot. I was really afraid that I would have troubles getting my foot in and taking them out because of how wide they are and how narrow the opening usually is. To be honest, with the new eyelets that are on these Trues, you can kind of see, if I hold them up here, that they kind of flare at the top, kind of like traditional skates. That combined with the new material that's kind of separated from the boot, the eyelet's in its own material that flexes independently from the boot, honestly makes them really easy to get on and off. I'll play a clip right here. And yeah, honestly, I don't really have that much harder of a time putting on these skates than I did with my previous skates. So True did a really good job there. And the best part of the new eyelets is that you still get that iconic True wrap. So you can see when they're, you know, not tightened up that they kind of flare out at the tops right here. But they still wrap around your ankles just like the old Trues did and give you tons of support. Finally, concern number 3 I had was forward flex. So coming from a Bauer Supreme, which is notoriously a low cut boot, I was worried that being in True Skates, it would kind of limit my forward flexion. To my surprise, these actually have a ton of forward flex while giving you that classic True wrap still. I'm able to get tons of forward flex in my stride, but the stiff higher support is actually really nice when you're moving laterally, doing crossovers, especially as a heavier set guy. I didn't really notice how much my old boots were worn, causing me to kind of move around a bit. When I'm pushing off sideways in these, doing quick starts, the power transfer is just instant. And then one extra concern actually that I had was the durability of these. That's something that I can't really speak on right now because I've only had them for 2 weeks, but so far so good. 2 weeks, they still look new, taking a couple pucks off the holders, but yeah, so far so good. Okay, now that we got the concerns out the way, it's time for the review. As I said, I was a little sore in these, I'm not gonna lie, because, well, they're new skates and they were so stiff. So when it came to the first game that I played in these, I kind of had the same feelings when I stepped out on the ice, but I would say the pain, or not really pain, but the soreness kind of went away almost instantly. I'd say like within like a minute or two, and my foot was fully new to these boots. The only thing that took getting used to, maybe like 1 or 2 shifts, was the tendon guard is a little bit stiffer than the ones on my Bauer Supremes. And then, as I said, also the cut of the boot is a little bit higher. So I did notice when I was trying to make some tight turns in the corners and making some quick adjustments with my feet, I was just using different muscles than I was used to. Now, in terms of comfort, because these are custom made to my foot, honestly, they are like a 10 out of 10. There's no hot spots, there's no problems with volume or width like I have with other skates. These have to be the only skates on the market that really feel like an extension of your foot. You know, my other skates fit me probably like, I'd say like 90, 95%, but there's always like a little bit of room on the toes, a little bit long. There's usually some, areas up here or in the heel that don't really fit. Whereas with the True Customs, because they're built around your foot, every part of the skate is touching your foot. And it's a really weird feeling at first, but honestly, I don't know how I could ever go back to, traditional skates. So if you ever have problems with fitting into retail skates, I would really recommend you try True Custom. Moving on to the tongue, because you can raise or lower the position of the tongue, if you were to wear it lower, it kind of puts the tongue lower into the toe cap, and you do feel that on top of your toes. So I opted to kind of pull the tongue all the way up, if that makes any sense. So next up, let's talk about the new steel and holder. True has changed the way they manufacture their steel so that it performs and lasts longer. I don't know what this steel is made out of, but this thing has some crazy bite to it. I usually use a 5/8 sharpening, and was recommended by Coop to go down to 3/4. But even my first skate on these, they felt way too sharp. It almost felt like I was using like a 3/8, almost like I was on rails. So I actually had to go down to 1 inch, which is kind of insane to me. But if you think about it, with the profiling kind of gives you a little bit more bite. And also the steel having a lot of bite itself, it kind of makes sense. And me being a heavier set guy, I naturally just sink into the ice more. So 1 inch honestly worked out perfectly for me. So if you're thinking about getting these, that's something to be aware of. In terms of the holder, honestly, I didn't really notice a difference between this and the previous tuck holders on my Bauer skates. They did say that they changed the pitch of them to be more neutral. Maybe that's why. I think they wanted to make these a little more approachable to people who are used to the Bowers or CCMs. And honestly, they did a good job because I didn't really notice a difference. They also changed the shape of the steel that goes into the holder. So before, it had a really tall kind of prong-like thing. So if you're someone who has multiple sets of steel, the new steel should fit in your pouches better. Now, a nice touch that True did was that they included another set of insoles. These are the True Genetics 2 insoles. So the skates will come with these standard insoles, which are kind of like your run-of-the-mill basic insole. And then the Genetic 2s are supposedly custom made for your foot. So you can see these are actually a little bit wider than the ones that come in the skates. They also come with this arch support. So mine's designed for a lower arch. And it also comes with this metatarsal pad. Honestly, I haven't been using these. I've been using just the standard insoles that come in them, only because these are actually really thick compared to the standard ones, which I'm sure gives you a lot of cushion and makes the skates a lot more comfortable. But because my foot's so high volume and the skates, custom made, it's almost like vacuum fit to my foot already, these just make it a tad too tight for me. So I'm sure if your foot is a little bit more normal, less volume, or even low volume, these would feel really nice in your skates. That being said, I'm totally happy with the standard insoles that they come with. To me, with the standard insoles, the fit is already perfect. I don't need to change it. They're super comfortable. And finally, the part that might mean the least to some people, let's go over the looks real quick. This year, they've went with an asymmetrical design. So the 4-bar logo that's on the side, they got rid of it on the inside just to give it kind of a sleeker look. And they kind of went with this asymmetrical theme with the like asymmetrical toe cap. So even though my feet are incredibly wide, with the slim toe cap design and the sleek asymmetrical wrap, they've still managed to make the skate look super sleek. And honestly, I'm a really big fan of that. I also love how organic and custom they look. I know some people might not like that, but you can kind of see like my ankle bone kind of right here. You can kind of see like the width of my foot kind of extends there. I don't know, I think it looks kind of cool. And then also the brown Clarino liner inside also adds a nice touch. So when it comes to the looks, I really enjoy the look of these. So overall, I think True's done a really good job with the 2025 SVH Custom Skates. I can see why so many NHLers are switching to them from other brands. They've really addressed a lot of the concerns that I think people have with these skates. I would say they really made an approachable skate that makes it easy to get into if you were previously wearing a bow or a CCM and wasn't a fan of the classic True fit or True look. It really feels like True kind of opened up their designs and made something that's a little closer to a traditional skate with the flared eyelets, making them easier to get into, and then adjusting the pitch on the holders to be a little more neutral, just like Bauer or CCM skates. This just really feels like a perfect compromise between, you know, Scott Van Horn's kind of traditional speed skater look with traditional hockey skates. To answer the question at the beginning of the video, should you consider buying True Custom SVH skates for yourself? And do I think they're worth it? I think that if you have problems with fitting skates off the wall, you might have a wide foot, high volume foot like me, or you have an abnormal bone structure, I think that these are 100% worth it. I know the overall thought of getting custom skates seems intimidating, but honestly, here at the hockey shop, Coop took really good care of me, and the process didn't take long at all. It took like 30 minutes in total. He kind of explained everything I needed to know, went through all the options. I got these skates a week faster than they estimated. And to build a custom skate from the inside out, from scratch, it blows my mind. Something can go from a 3D scan to like a physical skate you can hold in your hands. Now, I didn't know what I was missing out on when I was skating in boots that only fit me, you know, like 90 to 95% properly, and there was a little bit of gap here and there. But when you have skates that truly are an extension of your body, it is a game changer. You don't have to think about what's on your feet. You can really just focus on the play, what you're gonna do next, or what you're gonna have for dinner after the game. So yes, I think these are 100% worth it. If you guys like this video, it would mean the world if you guys dropped a like and subscribe. And if you have any questions about the True Custom Skate process and what it was like, comment them down below and I will try my best to answer every single one. Thanks for watching my journey on getting skates that finally fit, and until next time, see you guys.